All right, we're back. UFC Fight Night. Anthony Hernandez taking on Sean fucking Strickland. Now, I'm a fan of the matchup. I would have liked to have seen Fluffy take on De Ritter. Stylistically, another grappler, another finisher at the middleweight division. But in respects, this is a great test because Hernandez has not had like a good full war with somebody who also doesn't break over, vast amount of rounds. So Strickland, he is a complete 5-round fighter. His style does keep him pretty safe for the most part. And so this is a big gut check for Hernandez. How good does he look in the 4th, 5th round when somebody like Strickland is just basically the same fighter he was in the 2nd and 3rd? I do like Anthony a lot in this fight in the sense of his intentions with his elbows. And, he's not going to tit for tat and just box. He's going to use all those sharp tools, all those nice weapons. And so we'll get into that fight. But yeah, without further ado, what's going on? I am MMA Toad. And apparently I'm trying to take a fucking screenshot there. So there we go. Was I still framed for all that, motherfuckers? I was dying over here. But I wanted a big hooter hit for Fluffy. So here we are. Fuck it. Do it live. And that's this card's gonna be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. We had a nice little break. Hope you guys got to enjoy your Valentine's weekend. If not with somebody, doing something for yourself. So I had a great fucking weekend. Hanging out with Little Miss. She's east side of the state, and so we met up and had some good times, disc golf and good food. Went out for sushi. I fucking love sushi, dude. So we had a great ass weekend, and looking forward to getting back into the fights. So I got some cards I'm gonna catch up on super quick too, guys. I'll probably do more content on cards again on the IG profile, but just showing off some mail, some case hits, and we got some others on the way. Some other nice hits. Not all case hits, just some good numbered series. I like the Lunar Tides a lot in Midnight. And there's another Diego Sapphire. Get it while it's hot. Get it while the stock's low. All it takes is a loss sometimes. And people are dumb and emotional and sell shit for prices they probably shouldn't. Take advantage of it. So, all right, guys. We're going to give some suggestions on bets on this. I'll have an official lock sheet posted on my IG that I'm going to give you my best distance prop, my best method prop, my best dog, and my best money line. Parlay them, weave them, play them individually, round robin, whatever you want to do. But we're going to start doing this live, doing this in front of you guys. And I want you to hopefully make some profits and have as good of a year as what I was able to do this last year. And maybe together we can get out of our binds in life, man, and just live a little and enjoy our weekends, so dude, love this shit. All right, so kicking things off, you got Carly. She's a little bit of a pit bull, dude. So the odds suggest that Carly's such a pit bull that fucking Miller should be in a body bag. First round. Those are some fucking Atiba odds. You know what I mean? Like, we're expecting a knockout. But I will say this. Miller, her submission is 20-1 odds. So there's not a lot of value to make with Carly. unless you're getting to methods and round specifics, which the fight not to go to the judges is a good one here. It really is. But you got to throw something on a 20-1 Miller submission because those props are fucking crazy disrespectful. Seeing that's her only tool, her only weapon. Her jiu-jitsu's good enough to win a fight in an upset. You know what I mean? But yeah, Carly should piece the fucking piss out of her and probably get in the first, second round knockout by Carly. She's my pick. So give me Judas, but yeah. Miller, if she pulled the upset, it would have to be a submission. She cannot hang on the feet. All right, next fight. The Monkey King. Jordan Leavitt taking on DeVale. Jordan Leavitt, he certainly fought tougher guys and had to prove himself to some pretty decent fighters thus far. But, obviously you win some, you lose some at that level. It's always interesting when you got these guys that mix it very well. And they're on that 5-fight streak. This is a good opportunity for Vale. And I see him getting a finish in this fight. Probably a knockout. But the submission's there too. I just respect Leavitt's grappling enough to imagine that he probably gets clipped. I can't, taking a deep waters ground and pound and gives up, a back rear naked choke or something. But yeah. Dude, I will say this. A lot of people are going Vale. If he loses, people are probably salty. Probably a lot of money, big parlays, all that. I don't think his stock's worth it to bet by finish for DeVale because the payout's almost the same by saying fight doesn't go to the judges. So the submission and knockout pays out as well if the upset occurs. Yeah. But yeah. Give me Val. Just a second real quick. Sorry. Fuck it, boys. We're doing it live. See, that's the part we get a clip out of YouTube, but for you wonderful live stream folk, well, here we are. What I'm actually going to do, I'm going to make a quick live stream link before we get into the rest of the card. I got a lot of card to go through. Then we're going to edit and clip our picks. Yeah, we'll get some people rolling through chat, I think, this time around. Make this a fun one. I'm thinking. So, I don't know. I didn't just bring fucking Kleenex in here. I needed a blow my fucking nose and let the goddamn tissues there in case I get all congested again. I went and did some disc golf today, which was fun, but with all the thaw of all the ice and snow, that like activated my allergies a little bit. But yeah, I'm happy. In an hour and a half, I was able to do full 18 holes at this really difficult but fun course. Very narrow, woodsy, bombs. And had some fun today. Got a nice little activity in after work. So, oh, and we're on call right now. So we are on fucking call. Meaning, my phone could go off here, and I might have to get on my laptop and mute and take care of life. But I'll be damned if I'm going into work. I can do pretty much everything remotely. It would have to be like a fucking zombie outbreak to get me to come into work tonight. So we'll be okay. All right, man. Well, let me get this YouTube link real quick here. And we'll make the art. Our friends 10-7. I'm going to say hi to them.
To Morgan Charrier when he got fucking head kicked. Here's what I'm saying to you. When he was in the LFA, he was like brown with like white spots, and now he's white with brown spots. I don't know.
Can't hear them.
That's racist. Yeah, he upgraded the skizin. Smart.
he dropped some bread on the battle pass. But look, Melky Costa, long, athletic, sharp range, good power. Obviously, we saw volume striking, a really goddamn good fight IQ that's improving. When he finds his rhythm, man, he's nasty. He's opportunistic, and he's on a 5-fight win streak. And I think he is.
These guys are about it
as far as it can go. Facing the biggest named opponent he's faced in his career, 50K Dan Ige, a very durable veteran, obviously a nasty boxer. Dan Ige, good power. The level of experience is like massively in his favor. He's faced everybody. Rarely gets finished and does a lot of finishing. The nickname 50K, right? He gets himself bonuses. He's gonna push the pace. He's gonna keep it gritty, DS, and he's 1-3 in his last 4 now. All against killers. A loss against Diego Lopez. I mean, what are you going to say about that? A loss against Lerone Murphy. What can you say about that? Then he beats Sean Woodson in a fight where I thought he had no chance at winning. Then
I picked him there, by the way.
You did. And then last time out, lost to Patricio Pitbull. A tough fight for me to pick, man, because I know Dan Ige is the better fighter. I know he's the better fighter.
Prime for prime, you're saying? Or even right now?
No, like prime for prime, I know he's the better fighter. And Dan Ige is only 34 years old. He's not that old. But It's just like, God damn, dude. Like, do I think he's done? I don't know that he's done. I'm like leaning Melky, but like there's like a little bit in my heart that wants to pick Dan Ige for some reason. I'm going to stick with my brain and say Melky Costa. I'm not 0% confidence pick. I'm willing to switch. You say a good sentence and you'll convince me to switch to Dan Ige.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm trying to figure out like where Mel Costa is like officially better than him at, right? Like, is it like the ability to mix it up more? Like, do you think Mel Costa is gonna grapple? You think he's gonna wrestle with him?
No.
You think he's just gonna stay on the feet?
Yeah, I think he's gonna. Maybe he might grapple. He might.
I think he should. Quite honestly, who do you think has more power? Just pure power.
Pure punching power, Dan Ige. I think Melky Costa's got more like power, like picking shit up strength. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. No, I agree. I exactly pretty much to the T agree with that. Right. So I don't know, man. I've gone back and forth on this one a lot. Right. I think, you got striking power favoring Dan Ige. Mel Costa's like no slouch. Obviously, we've seen him get get a huge knockout last time out. I don't like Dan Ige's takedown defense. Like there's times when it's like, dude, it's so fucking easy to take him down. So I think Mel Costa, like, I hope he's not too in love with the striking. I think that's really the opportunity for him here. Obviously, it's a huge fight for him. I don't see Dan Ige shooting shots or anything like that unless he's like just trying to feint something. But yeah, I mean, for me, it like Mel Costa has more ways to win this. God, I don't know. Like, I feel the same way. I just feel like Dan Ige is the better fighter even now, right? And Mel Costa's shown a pretty good chin, man. Like, do I think he's going to get knocked out? No, but I think he's going to take some legitimate damage here, right? So Now, if Dan Ige hasn't landed like a big shot and really tested the chin of Mel Costa by like mid round 2, he's probably fighting uphill at that point, right? I think Mel Costa's like
dropping some love in chat
to get a decision win there.
Listening in on the segment.
I just think early on he's going to do more damage. Sure, I think he's going to win the first 2 rounds, maybe lose the third. But I'm going to take him by decision, man. I'm going to take him by decision.
Kind of see where our thoughts align.
Yeah, I think the fight's really about can Costa make Dan Ige play more defense than offense.
We'll tap out of this here in just a second.
I don't think Dan Ige is done yet, like you said.
Here's why I don't see decision, DS. UFC, this new thing that they're doing on Paramount, they are clearly trying to find themselves stars. They still want young Brazilians. I know there was like a while there where the UFC was kind of just like Brazilians were fucking interchangeable for the UFC. It didn't matter. They were a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Now it looks like they want one, right? They had the Diego Lopez undeserved title shot. Say what you will about that. Last week we got to see Vinicius Oliveira.
I think that's a little different too. Like Diego Lopez is like a known guy at this point, right?
You leave Diego Lopez, like he's on a different level. Like obviously he deserves a top 3 spot in the division and deserves to be a star, and he has Mexico like behind him. So there's a lot that goes into that. But like a guy like Vinicius Oliveira last week was a flashy dude, won a couple of fights in a row, and all of a sudden he's pushed into main event. I
thought that was one of the more egregious ones like the UFC's done in the last couple of years, putting him in there. Like I've never been that high, honestly. So
my question to you though is, if this fight is close, would it behoove the UFC to just give him the win?
I mean, I didn't even think about that, to be honest with you.
What does Dan Ige do for you at this point in his
career? No, at this point, nothing, right? There was, I mean, like you said, 50K. There was a time where obviously he was, very highly thought of. I still think he is, but like you said, it's that new age of fan. Also, like not to be like ignorant, but like a guy with vitiligo stands out. So like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if you and he's like coming off a highlight reel win, right? So I can see what you're saying, man. I'm not terribly confident in this. Again, this is another one of those where it's more of a hunch, right? Like I feel kind of how I felt with Deshaun Woodson, right? Where it's like on paper, it's not a great matchup for him, right? Yeah. But I don't know. I think he's going to find a way to pull it out.
Boom. Let's go to the chat real quick. Ground Steady saying LOL. I think that was about the brown to white comment. And then he says, yeah, he's nasty. He's a little younger too, but Dan Ige is hard to count out for sure. I'm going Costa, TBH. New Age is here. Then NTR.
I mean, I'm not against it,
Yeah. NTRD says Dan Ige finish only is the best bet here. What's up, NTRD? You're a fucking betting guy now? Like all of a sudden you're just all about bets? Let's do a bet thing. You're doing the creator content, the creator picks challenge. Do a bet competition. I'll hop in that. We'll get Harry in that shit, DS. It'll be fun as hell. MMA Toad. Shout out the boy MMA Toad, friend of the channel. Leave my boy alone. Lopez couldn't beat the GOAT, but he's still a gangster. No shade towards Diego Lopez. I know DS, you are like in love with Diego Lopez.
I love Diego Lopez. Yeah,
I fucking love Diego Lopez too. Don't get it twisted. It's just I love Volk. Like there's levels to this shit. If I wish. How about this, Toad? I wish that Volkanovski had lost to Diego Lopez, just because I would rather see the belt go to Diego Lopez than Movsar Evloev, Lerone Murphy, or God forbid Gene Silva. God forbid any of those guys finishes Volk. I'm gonna be like taking depressed baths in the dark, DS, like just fucking crying. So, anyways, Ground Steady says only thing I could say is Ige's last 5 versus Costa's last 5. The skill gap is there, I'd say for sure. Dan can do some shit when he connects with a full shot. I wanted the torch pass too. I don't know that I wanted it, Toad, but I selfishly wanted it, if that makes sense. For my own reasons.
All right, you ready to move on to the co-main event?
Yeah, which is a terrible co-main event.
It's such a weird co-main event.
Switch
and like
back
a card that's like pretty damn good, like top to
These
bottom.
guys are top level. Like, look at that. They're so fucking awesome, dude. Shout out to Dino and Dino, 10-7 MMA. If you didn't know, now you know. Go give those guys a fucking holler and hit their like, subscribe, and all that shit. Drop a comment because they're about as legit as they come in the industry, I'd say. Like they are cappers, but they're good. I don't care if your picks are good. I like the story you tell on why you have your pick and have it line up to the fight. That's the mosaic, the piece in the middle of this as a UFC fight fan is being able to play that chess game in your head and simulate. And so we're kind of at this fun era right now in MMA picks and bets, because it's kind of capper versus AI, or AI plus capper. And I honestly have been very methodical in the way the fight flows and the way I simulate. And that's allowed me to believe in something enough to bet on it. But I'm also not going to be stubborn this year, and I'm going to unleash the hounds and maybe consider applying my knowledge with, give me like more deeper statistics about these knockouts. I want to know the strike type. I want to know the choke type, and then dabble into very specific bookies that will allow me to do a heel hook for Walker, and the specific sub for the absolute max payouts. But more so than ever, just to be sharp. So last year we did 94 units. Was able to get out of debt that I had just had from COVID and renting, and walking away from a mortgage that was completely paid and really nice. And, back in 2020. And so, between different jobs and this and that, so it's like, yeah, life caught up, and MMA Toad basically pulled me out of it. So it's not always you get something out of a hobby like that. So it's very fun in that regard, which is why I take what I do very serious, and I'm very passionate in what I'm doing, because I obviously love it. But most importantly, there are some really fucking cool people that I have the pleasure of kicking it with, talking about the fights, comparing. Their bets are hitting, their predictions are sharp. It's just it's a fun synergy of friends that are from all walks of life, parts of the world, getting together on a thing. So shout out to you guys. We're at 121 subscribers. And I'd like to say, like, I've honestly been very off the cuff, very off the limb with this. So I will be doing thumbnails, the stream, this date, this time, have guests, do more collaborations, and then do official lock sheets. And I'm going to hold myself accountable in achieving this by the very next main UFC card, pay-per-view tier, right? So that's what we're going to do. But there's a lot to do with cards. Like I said earlier, I got some heat. I'll showcase these one more time, and then we're going to fire off a YouTube link. Well, I'll do that first. I've been fucking getting distracted. I'll do that, and then we'll fuck off with the cards and dive straight into the predictions. I'll do even a quick recap from where we were. That way I can get the link out there, and people can start to tap in. So if you're in this, it's because you're chilling out with me live. I'm gonna edit all this shit out of the official YouTube video when that's up. But yeah, we're chilling. And yeah, let me get this link. I'm just sending myself this link into my phone so we can post it. Posting IG on PC is fucking horrid compared to doing it from the phone. So this is just a quick way of doing that. Posting this fucking link right now. How do I feel about this? Let's see. Dude, yeah, that shit smacks. Fun prelim parlay. I like it. Using voice to text because I fucking hate just these, dude. It's so shitty. Yeah. Shout out to River. Nice little prelim parlay I'll share with you guys. It's Judas, DeVale, Edwards, and Gene Paul. Not a bad four-legger there. Not bad. What is the prop? What was the prop? All right. Anyways, get this shit, get this posted, and we'll get fucking moving, baby. Let's go. All right. Let me do this. Should do this first. I don't know why I haven't been doing it this way. Next thing I'm going to be doing is pay for a StreamYard subscription. Not use OBS anymore. Migrate. Just use StreamYard. That's going to be best for collaborations and everything as well. So. YouTube link. I should have done this before doing the stream, but yeah, we're just chilling real quick, getting this link made, and we'll be good. It's this fucking song. This is gonna be fucking sweet. full fight breakdown here. There. I just officially share that out. See how long that shit takes to do? Okay. All right, from the top. I will stop that local and we'll take maybe the beginning parts of that, but I'm just gonna chop through the beginning parts of this card again. I'm gonna start a new recording right as we kick this off again too. All right. We pull up restream and then we're good to go. I got props pulled up in front of me now too. Kind of openly go on some first initial thoughts anyways. So holy shit. Appreciate the growth on IG. We just hit like 2,700, so for being like a year and a half old channel or so. Almost 2 years, I guess, right? Yeah. Not bad. Appreciate you guys. Let a couple people tap in, but yes. All right, cool. Uploaded, sent. Let's dive the fuck in. So I'm gonna shut old baby up one last time, and we'll pop and recap and move on. We'll build a parlay at the end. We'll lock it in, place the bet now, and I'll make a graphic for it later. The stream parlay, yeah, we'll just call it stream parlay. A spitball bet, like something that as we're like forecasting the fights and talking about exactly how they play out, looking at those specific methods. Hit a little cycle. Dude, all you need is a 2-leg though. I know everyone loves the 3 legs and stuff, but if you get 2 methods, oof. It's a good day at work. What's up, brother? Yo, what's going on, Clutch? Not much, man. Getting ready to rip through this whole card here. Quite literally, rip through this fucking card. Anthony Hernandez, of course, main event. So, in all respects there. Looking forward to it. I'm always a fan of the style. You know, your Dubronx, your Fluffies, the guys that use all the tools in the shed, the elbows, the fucking knees. They mean bad intention in their striking. And then there's chess players that tit-tat for points and win technical striking exchanges, right? That's where these styles are going to meet. And I like the guy who means worse things. So Hernandez is going to be my absolute pick. But Strickland's a gamer too. And Hernandez may not look so late in the fight. And Strickland is a problem rounds 3 up. You know what I mean? I think most people can really burn and kind of let go on Strickland in 1 and 2. But his style eats and is very defensive. So he's just a problem late in the fight. Meanwhile, you fucked your leg up or something, you know, you're hurt in some way. You got fucking kicked. Yeah, I really like the odds of Hernandez having some control time, even if it's standing in the clinch. Knees, a lot of thigh shots, and just like he's gonna slowly pick and tit and tat. And then again, it's gonna be an elbow or a knee or just something that completely was not the soft, we're tired and just exchanging on each other shit. Like that's what I like about Hernandez is he's gonna zap you eventually. And so he gets these late finishes and things. So I wouldn't be surprised if the fight did somehow go to the judges, but over 5 rounds, I just think that Hernandez has a great chance of hurting Strickland and choking him. Setting it up for a choke. I mean, the TKO's there. Hernandez through like a grappling exchange, wrestling exchange, is hitting some ground and pounds, again, elbows, hammer fists. I think Strickland maybe gives up his back to Hernandez, who flattens him and bucks him up. Can I be honest though? This is not a popular pick, but I'm gonna go with Jordan Levitt, the Monkey King. Yeah, you know what? Good for you. Yeah, this week the flock of seagulls are all going Dell. All the flocks of seagulls are that way, and dude, that's what's up. You might as well put some nice underdog money on them too, just so you can have the slip as a memory. It's always good when you got that big dog on the card that no one else is picking, and you get it right, and everyone's pick sheets are all fucked up early, but you're looking good. So nice, I respect it. Yeah, no, he's a gamer. I'm gonna go through a super quick recap of where I kind of left off, and then I'll end up just clipping the earlier footage for my predictions on the first 2 fights. So I'm gonna quickly recap that and hit local recording on this fucking turd and do that and post this later on to YouTube. But yeah, thanks for tapping into the stream, dude. Hope all's good. I hope you enjoy your fight card. If you're interested, we like to do some cards as well. It's just been a minute on IG, but yeah, I got some nice case hits in the mail. We'll go through here at some point during the stream. I'll show off as well. But yeah, Fucking, it doesn't matter if it's merchandise, cards, the fights themselves, the betting opportunity. It's very cultivating, and I don't know many hobbies that pay you back. So this is a really cool one in a lot of ways because you can afford it if you're sharp. So you can just nerd out, and it's like the more research and time you are spending in doing all these things, you're actually more in tune to probably do better than someone who's not really dabbling in MMA, and you're just like, this guy's a favorite, he wins. This guy's a favorite, he wins, kind of betting styles. Like dogs bark on every card, especially these live cards. And it's always by a finish too. So if you can sync up the dog plus the method, oof, make some fucking money, son. But also, I love fading bookies where they have so much disrespect in the prop. Like a 10-1. More times than not, I will sprinkle on those because, you know, at least 1 out of 10 of them do sometimes pull that upset. People get over zealous in their belief in people that haven't even proven themselves, and in some cases a top 50 in the world opportunity, and they're like severely favored like that. So I'm a firm believer that, you know, shit happens. It's a fight. Could just be a really bad cut, bad this and that. Sometimes these injuries and things happen unexpectedly, you know, fluke wins. Fucking Joshua Van situation, you know what I mean? Shit happens, so sometimes those are fun to sprinkle on. Yeah, I'm gonna fire this up and we'll go round 2. Salute. All right, guys. Let's continue through this card. I'm going to do a super quick recap. We got, I'm obviously going to take Judas. I believe in her striking and her ability to counter wrestle. Miller's not a complete vice. Her style's nice on the ground with her BJJ, but Judas is right there with her, and we'll piece her apart and do mean things. Now, the props say Judas should go out in the first round and absolutely starch the piss out of her, right? Like a 8 to 9 to 1 odds. Like that's fucking insane. So if you like the idea of going 5 to 6-1 prop on Miller, okay. I couldn't see her doing it any way other than like some kind of fluke exchange where she ended up getting to the back and got some kind of fucking choke. Because she's not going to win over on striking, and I can't imagine her having like actual control in the fight. So she's got a spider monkey Alexa Grasso versus Bullet Shevchenko jump on this bitch's neck and choke her out, fluke win, and that pays 20 to 1. So you got to do that if you're going to bet on Miller. But this fight not to go to the judges is not a bad prop, but it's also anticipated. It's like a negative 190 prop. But yeah, that's because there is no betting value in Judas herself. So if you believe she would win, that opens up 2 different opportunities for a finish. Or if Miller somehow pulled the fucking rabbit out of her ass and got the submission win, you hit on either side. So not a bad prop to start off the card there. Moving up the second fight, I'm going to take DeVale, but, you know, shout out in chat to Clutch Attitude MMA. He's actually taking the Monkey King and Jordan Levitt. I agree in the sense that he's had a lot of high fight experience opportunities, like the fight with Patty. Not so bad. Like Patty's shown to be a very decent fucking fighter, and that was a nervous one for Patty, man. Like the Monkey King's a vice, and his striking, we certainly didn't really like Patty striking all that much still. His chin, the way he was putting it up, and just Patty's evolved a lot in the striking department since these early prelim days, right? But man, no, it was a good win for Patty, and you know, Monkey King's only ever really lost to pretty decent fighters. But then you got a guy who's on a 5-win streak, plus win streak, right? He's 10-0, sorry. I'm just saying his last 5 fights I was looking, they were all, pull this guy's Tapology up here. I wanted to go through the methods and talk about that now. If you're taking Vol, you're taking them by finish in more cases than not. Doesn't look like that's going to load. Jesus fucking Christ, apology. But anyways, hear me out here. His prop does not pay anything impressive whatsoever. Negative 200 or so to win by submission and knockout. You could get the same prop by saying the fight doesn't go to the judges here. That's like negative 220 or 230. So that respects Jordan's ability for a submission or a knockout of some kind, or ground and pound, or fluke again, accident, medical, doctor stoppage, whatever. So negative 220 would be the prop versus this one going to the judges. I think Val gets a finish myself. So shout out again to Clutch. He's going to ride separate from the flock of seagulls this week and going with the Monkey King. Also, big shout out to Pro Schmo. Yo, what's going on, Henry? AKA my boy Harry. Oh, that was so funny. I'm sorry, bro. Can't wait to hear through the picks. Yeah, no, man, absolutely. So, yeah, we're just catching up the first two. I'm with the flock of seagulls this week. So, first two fights, gonna ride with the favorites, but from a betting stance, unless you got round and method, stay away from Carly. Probably just bet distance no there. The value on her is just shit this week. All right. Yep, and we'll take Val. So two high favorites there, moderate and a severely high favorite, nothing too impressive. And then getting into this third fight on the prelims, you got Jean Paul taking on Phil Rowe. Literally the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. These older guys, these more veteran fighters, man, I know they got some tread on them, but they're really good prelim fighters, because in a lot of cases, these guys coming up have not even had nearly the level of fighter that they still are, which poses opportunities for these big upsets where people find themselves riding someone's undefeated record or mostly winning record, but a bunch of pro schmoes where even someone who didn't really exceed at climbing the highest ranks but had been around can still show up and put down. So, Rowe, he's always a good dog in the sense, but as of late, not really. The tread's really worn in this case. He's not your Neil Magny, where more times than not he's showing up as a dog and absolutely fucking crushing it, and somehow in a lot of cases with a finish. Whereas people for a long time thought that Magny was only capable of these point wins, these split decisions, these late second, third round comeback, kind of tight, close fights where his strikes add up. No, he's out getting knockouts and submissions too, which is impressive at, state and the length of his career. So, shout out there. I know, Rowe, he's cool. Like the guy a lot. Again, always a great dog, but I just think in this case, man, someone like Jean Paul, he's got a lot of opportunities to show up and just be a little bit more sharper and youthful in these exchanges and catch Rowe. But man, Rowe's got, good length, good size, and his ability to mix it keeps him really live. His submissions and knockout wins. So again, taking Rowe as a dog, take him by double method by finish. You'd be surprised. So we'll be playing with those props here. I'm going to actually just pull it up and give you what Rowe's double chances, since we're talking about it, plus 330. So if you're gonna ride with Rowe, that's my suggestion there. But yeah, as a pick, give me Jean Paul. I think he gets it done. All right, moving up, we got Ramiz taking on Soriano. Soriano, he's a gamer. His physicality keeps him alive in a lot of these exchanges, his counter wrestling, his strikes. He's not the fastest guy out there, but he's pretty brute. But what I love about Ramiz is the way he literally finds a way to just have this immense amount of pressure to control and put these fights into the positions where he's most comfortable, and that's opening up his submission game. So I like Ramiz a lot. His submission prop's just a little shy of plus 200. It's a little rich for me. I'm going to look at round specifics here, and no matter which way I lean, early or late. I love that idea of round 2. If the prop's right enough, I might hit round 2. But yeah, give me Ramiz. I think it happens by submission. Soriano, he's got a striker's chance with his hands, his kicks. He's got some good chops, but I just don't see him being able to compete at the technical level that I know Ramiz is capable of once this fight hits these deep waters. So that's where I'm at there. We'll play around with some of these fights within the distance props as well. At plus 200, it's a little shy of rich for me. So I might be happier with a fight to end by a finish. Opens up to TKO, elbows, ground and pound, on the feet, standing, fluke knockout, whatever fucking crazy situation arises. I love fights over 15 minutes. Saves a lot of parlays as well. So you can always boost this shit by picking a method, something round specific, but take some of these extra safe if the prop's not high enough, and keep it to distance, and you'll keep a lot of these shits rolling more times than you would expect. Shout out to those who can hit a cycle parlay all the time. Obviously the odds suggest that you might have to place 50 of them for one to hit or something like that, right? Distant props, that's not the case. They're weekly occurrences. We're gonna start posting these and giving you guys the locks on the IG going into the fights, and just keep everything open and on the table. You guys can win with me, lose with me, but it's gonna be based on the trajectory of this last couple of years for me. I think we're good, so that's why I'm gonna be honest with it and put it out there. So I'll be doing locks of the week, distance, a dog, money line, my favorite method, and maybe instead of a cycle, I'm gonna give you one knockout, one submission. Sometimes these weird decision chases, if you want a true cycle parlay, they break a lot of these shits, man. Bad decisions, robberies, this and that. Or maybe they got an unexpected knockout or fucking submission, right? So give me one knockout, I'm sure of, one submission, I'm sure of. But yeah, I like Ramiz's submission here. So we'll look at cycle, but again, his isn't just, the prop on it's not the best. All right, moving up the card, we got Jocelyn Edwards taking on Nora. Listen, Korn, she's a gamer. She'll be in the fight, but the way that Edwards just prods and bullies and again mixes her tools, like, she's a motherfucker off her back. She does send slicing shots. She's got these big fucking clubbing hands that she throws, but on the feet, she's a bit of a bully. She's got the long ass legs. She sends it just perfectly enough to win a lot of these fights just in points. But when things get dicey, her ability to react and everflow and have those like nice little exchanges is nice. Like, I don't ever look at Edwards as someone I'm worried about shots absorbed. Like, she's smooth with it a little bit. So I like Edwards as a lock of the week possibility here. But I'd assume the props are probably 220, 230, 300. Where's she at? Edwards is negative 350. See, I'm not putting that kind of chalk on Edwards, but I'll parlay this shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll look at distance there too. I like this one within the distance too, just because, again, Nora's going to bring it. Edwards is going to also thrive in these exchanges and send it back. This fight could go under 2.5 rounds, but that one is plus 200 prop. I already have it already locked in, already placed. Plus 200 prop for this fight not to go to the judges is pretty decent, I'd say. I know it's women's MMA, but I see these two actually exchanging on one another, and someone getting caught, someone getting pursued, and it's a TKO. You're waiting for it. It's probably like a 50 strike combination, but just finally the ref is like, okay, I guess I should stop because this person hasn't defended themselves, but they could probably eat 50 more of these shots kind of stoppage, right? Typical one of those, but you know, that's maybe how it is. All right. Moving up the card, we got ourselves this fight right here. I'm going to also start opening this graphic up. I apologize for not doing that prior. So, all right, sweet. So we got Guru, fucking Grim, taking on Eldon Correa. Eldon's wins, or his win over Costos is actually why I think a lot of people feel good about taking him this week. I know it is for me. It's just having a pretty decent win under your belt. And Costa, that dude can chop. That dude can send it. Stocky but powerful. And truthfully, if it was Alessandro versus Lewis as well, I'd be taking Alessandro, right? So this is the guy that broke Alessandro, so therefore I feel that much better about taking Eldon. So yeah, I don't think Lewis has much of a shot in this fight. I like the striking over Lewis. He's kind of got that, kind of grappler like clinch physique and shit, but Eldon sends it. I mean, he's just not going to allow him to grapple on him. He's going to fuck him up. So, all right. We got Ode Osborne taking on Alibi. I think Osborne's a solid underdog. The rankings certainly show that, Ode's fought much tougher guys, and he's been alive in some of these fights too. He didn't always get the outcome that he was hoping for, but he's been live in a lot of these fights too. So the striking is going to definitely favor in Ode's, just his kicks, all that on the feet. I really like Ode's striking, but if this fight gets to the ground, that's where that control from Alibi is going to definitely take place. I don't know the props in terms of favorites here. I haven't looked yet. So yeah, it's plus 110 for Ode Osborne money line, and Alibi negative 140. So ever so slightly decent dog if you're taking method in this fight. Alibi by points plus 240, not good enough. Ode by knockout plus 300. Maybe if he won, that's a possibility. Alibi by knockout at plus 380. Alibi by submission is plus 700. So there's that. See if this actually loads this time. Nice, it does. So yeah, fight to end by knockout's a good prop here too. How will it end? Fight to end by knockout plus 125. Respects the knockout on either side. If you don't believe a submission's likely to happen and you think it's a striking exchange or a knockout, there you go. But yeah, honestly, I am going to wait until weigh-ins to lock an official pick on this fight, because I believe in Ode enough as a dog, but I want to see kind of what face-offs look like and all that, and the energy from each fighter before I make an official decision. Plus, we get the weigh-ins, which, yeah, I'm going to see Ode show up and make weight okay. See what he's looking like, what his energy's looking like. If he's smiling a whole bunch and super happy, I'm feeling better about a dog at that option. And at plus 100, I'm expecting it to swing a little bit more, closer to like 150, almost plus 200, honestly. I could see Levy getting just like a lot of last second traffic. Because someone wants to pick someone from a mountain, that's how it works sometimes. All right. So that's going to be the pick there on that fight. Let me go back to this list here. So moving up the card, we got Shitty Bang Bang taking on Carlos Leal. Now, Leal, to no surprise, is a fucking Ninja Turtle. And we just saw one of these little specimens fight recently, and Finney. And it's just like, when you take the serum away from the Ninja Turtle, they don't really fight the way that a Ninja Turtle fights. Like, if you ain't in the sewers getting that fucking rat juice, that ectoplasm green juice that Leo used to be able to get when that photo was taken there, bro, you don't have to be the most best ninja, but you're a turtle, and it's okay. But bro, he's just a fucking turtle now, right? He's taking away the powers, the ninja. And so it just hasn't really been all that great. Like, he's always in these situations where he can't put a fucking guy out of there, and he always gets hoed too. Terrible fucking judge bullshits. So, you know what? It's interesting to see 64% of people with Leo. And I know I'm not super high in Chitty Bang Bang. I want to say I have a vivid memory of being like, why the fuck did I believe in him? Like, screaming at my fucking TV because this guy just wouldn't use his controller. Like, he wasn't hitting any of the fucking buttons on his shit. He was just kind of standing there. And I'm like, throw them fucking kicks. Throw a fucking punch. Like, he just was letting himself lose to points, putting himself in a situation where he needed a finish, but was so fucking fatigued, he couldn't do fucking fuck all. So, you know what? I get it. Leo at 64% because this fucking little Ninja Turtle may not have the ninja powers anymore, but he's still a fucking, Ninja Turtle. So, another fight that I was always honestly both ways about. I like Chitty Bang Bang getting the knockout in some kind of crazy exchange, but dude, when I'm thinking about Chitty, I'm thinking about his kicks. When I'm thinking about Leo, I'm thinking about him fucking actually throwing his hands. And what happens more times than not in that exchange is the dude with the hands going top shelf catches the guy throwing the kick. So Leo might be the pick, but I need to see the blubber, the juice, the Ninja Turtle body. I need to see the exoskeleton of Carlos Leo before I make an official pick. If it looks like, he's taking the same Flintstone vitamins as cousin Khabib, from Dakistan and all those lads over there, they're special vitamins that the whole family took. If it's anything like those boys, then we'll be okay. But he's lost that zap. Whatever he was on before the UFC, he's off of it. So Chitty Bang Bang's live to pull an upset here. He's another good dog choice on this card, especially at the weight class. Shit happens. These guys at 170 pounds can crack each other and put each other out. Happens all the fucking time. All right, moving up the card. Speaking of that, Zach Reese taking on Michelle Pereira. Dude, here's what I got to say. Before I give my pick, I know Reese has had a tough few goes, and he's really, in a lot of cases, failed to meet this expectation that we set for him, being one of these huge just fucking zappers with his crazy fucking frame and, submission and striking little mix that he throws out there just to try to put these guys out in the first few rounds. But Michelle is a loaded fucking gun in the first round until the second and third round occurs, where his output stops. He's so fucking fatigued because he couldn't help himself but walk out and dance around and do fucking monkey cartwheels and fucking just ruin the fight before he even got into the octagon. If I was his coaches, hey, guess what, dude? You get no fucking music, dude. You don't know how to fucking not dance around and fuck up the fight for us, guy. You're gassed by round 2. You can't fucking throw shit. And you're just fucking like drooling on yourself. So, you know what? Zach Reese, he's a loaded gun in the first round, and then he turns into a little turd ball too. So, I see why the UFC made this fight. Because we're either going to get a first round fucking monkey flip off the side of the fucking cage, a legal backflip, but because it was a dance move, we kind of allow it. So we're either going to get one of those or just a Zach fucking crack, and that's it. So we're either getting that or some goofy carnival looking shit over second and third rounds. So if this goes to the judges, I bet you it's some goofy ass shit. Because it seems like when these guys actually connect and actually hit the buttons right, they put people out. They hurt each other way too much. Both guys. So Reese has kind of already struggled with guys at a much lower level and not being able to put them out, at least, even fights that he's been part of where he's made the comeback, and he's shown that he's susceptible to getting hurt too. I understand Michelle has at least been there at a much higher level, has a higher ceiling than I think Reese will achieve. In terms of like what they're each likely to achieve at the end of their careers, I'd say Michelle probably will go further than what Reese will. Lot yet to be determined with him, right? But when I first saw this fight, I was so upset about Michelle being a fucking dumb shit that I legit went with Reese in my head. I'm like, yeah, I actually like Reese via I didn't jerk off getting into the cage. And so I came out and blasted his shit in the second round because he froze up after some decent exchanges and in the first round. So I like this fight by finish in the first 2 rounds. Another fight I've been back and forth on. I'm seeing a lot of cappers riding with Michelle this week. But I'm going to go away from the flock and say that Reese wins via not being a dumb fuck on the walkout and dancing. So I'm going to die on that hill. That's why I pick Reese. Reese ends up getting a finish, but Pereira's gassed, and his team needs to never give him fucking music for another fight walkout after this fight. All right, moving up the card, we got Jacoby Smith taking on Isaiah Harrell. Yeah, I like Jacob Smith. Very powerful, striking fucks these dudes up. He's definitely a first, second round knockout artist, for 7 of which being first round. Again, there's not as much merit on some of these names. Nico Price, everyone's knocking out the old junkyard dog. And then Parsons is Parsons, right? That's kind of what you'd expect at a UFC debut level. The fight with Ko was a canceled bout, and actually that would have been a fucking much better test than Nico Price, so that didn't get to happen. But yeah, here we are. Harrell's a decent fighter in his own regard, but I think Jacoby's just gonna do much worse things to him than what he's able to do to him instead. Now, I like this fight a lot on the feet. For Smith, if Harrell gets this fight to the ground, he's not the worst thing there, but Smith is, his wrestling base is really going to prevent him from getting in any kind of nasty situation that I could imagine Harrell being able to put him in, quite honestly. So, yeah, give me Jacoby. I think he gets it done. First, second round knockout. All right, moving up the card. Got Sergey Spivak taking on Ant Delija. Now, dude, this guy, he didn't get it done this last fight, but dude, Waldo's been on an absolute fucking parade, right? At a much higher level too. So the loss here does not work against him, in my opinion. Like, he was still doing pretty good. I like the win over Tybura. That's probably his most credible fight, in my opinion. Because Tybura was kind of fraud checking and fucking up a lot of these heavyweight guys that earn himself a moment where he was a top 10 guy too, right? working his way up with, oh man, it goes to show you how you can be a blob can crusher when you can actually grapple and strike at a heavyweight division, because they're just not fucking technical, right? But the thing is, Delija, he absolutely fucking sends it. He hurts people quite bad. Sergey, he's a gamer. He takes it. He can certainly get hurt. But he has moments where he takes it, and where he thrives is his ability to mix it. He'll send it back. Sometimes it hits. More times than not, it's not that wins him a fight. It's some kind of scramble, and he finds his way to a submission. It's certainly his grappling and submission game that gives him a chance in this fight. So Sergey is a dog. I'd imagine he is a dog here in this. Let's look at his props real quick. We'll go through the Reese and some of these other fights for props at the end and whip together a parlay, but while I'm in the moment, I'm curious to know. Yeah, Sergey is a plus 124 if you took him as a money line. Personally, this one ain't going to the judges. So you can also bet the under at negative 124 under 1.5, which I kind of like. However, if you took double chance, Sergey is plus 230. So instead of taking him at plus 110, take him or whatever the fuck that was, 230 by submission and knockout. If you believe in Sergey, I think he's certainly live to get this fight done on the ground. But this Delija dude can sincerely fuck him up if he catches him just right, and thus, welcome to the fucking heavyweights, right? That's just how these boys crack. If you look here, the uppercut over Tybura is quite good though, because it's another guy just like the polar bear who's gonna want to kind of mix it, get into these close pocket exchanges. It was an uppercut, so his uppercut knocked out Tybura or set him up for the ground and pound finish. Can sincerely imagine that happening against Spivak. Sadly, he is susceptible to getting hurt. He can send it back too, but he is getting caught. He is getting hurt, and it hasn't been always going his way. So, like I mean, look at this. The knockout loss to Almeida, but again, Almeida, that's through his grappling that set that up when he would actually strike. KO loss to Gane. Not the worst thing in the world. The submission win over Lewis. Arm triangle choke. Couldn't you imagine Delija coming down over the top, Sergey on the ground, and Sergey somehow pulling an upset off his back? Some type of scramble on the ground, reverse position. If Ant's on the ground against Spivak will choke him out. I'm pretty confident in that, or will around the side finish him off with elbows and ground and pound. So I might look at the takedown prop for Spivak to get one takedown. If it's negative 150 or 200, probably parlay, build something out of this fight as well. But yeah. Fucking really tough, dude. Because both guys have a good case of why they win this fight. Spivak's the style that mixes it up. Delija's winning his fights when guys want to plant and have these gun exchanges. He's winning these exchanges a lot of the times. Spivak can crack too. But if someone lost to a knockout, I expect it to be Spivak, truthfully. Spivak, I think, gets it done by submission. If he wins. This is another I really want to see the way in, the face-offs, the body language, to feel more confident and see where what this face-off looks like. I want to see his game face on this dude, this Delija dude. He's certainly being tested a lot more than Spivak's being tested in this fight. Spivak's been around. He's certainly fought some decent guys. He's had his moments where he was the guy climbing, right? He's holding it down at top 10. So this is an opportunity for Delija to join the top 10 ranks. He certainly would get it done with a knockout if he did so. Man, I really want to go with Spivak, but I kind of can't. I can't, given the fact that he's on this 2-fight skid. Even though one of those, again, you took a decision loss to Costa, where he just bullies his fucking jab, right? But still going, 15 minutes with Costa. That's okay. I mean, it's still not bad. Whereas my boy right here got fucking knocked by Costa, right? So the MMA gods and logic say that, well, Spivak did much better in his test with Costa than old boy, walking trouble. And I don't like walking trouble when he's on his back because he can't walk at all. So you know what? I'm going to say fuck it. I'm going to go Spivak. I'll take the dog in this fight. But the fight by finish would be the safest bet. We'll look at the props under the first 2 rounds. So I understand if you want to take the negative 1.5, I want those extra 2.5 minutes with these two. So I'm going to take the fight within the first 2 rounds. Give me it under 10 minutes to end by a finish. And I'm happy, boy, either way. Pick wrong or right. That is a tough one, and that's another dog that if you're going to go through the whole card and tell me, like, who's a viable dog, you'd be disrespectful as fuck if you didn't say Spivak this week. All right. As at least like a good candidate. All right. Moving up the card, got Milky Boy Costa taking on Dan 50K Ige. Dude, Dan is, he's a vet. He's one of those dudes you'd see at the barbecue. His style keeps him live in these fights. And when they were going great, that's where that name 50K really rang. He can send it. He's powerful. He's got good striking. But Costa's striking game is very different, right? He's going to mix kicks in, his grappling. He's very comfortable there. He's really good about having positions where he's actually doing a good job of hurting and putting his opponents out. If we're going to sit here on the feet, plan them in exchange, Dan is very live to pull the upset here because I could see Costa being a slight favorite in this fight. Or no, in this case, it looks like Tapology has them as moderate favorite. We're going to take a quick look on the bookies. See where that's shifted to. Dan Ige is a plus 164. Costa is a negative 215. You know what? Costa respecting the knockout, respecting the ground and pound, respecting the submission, and respecting Dan Ige to, have this go to the judges as well. At 215, that's a good prop for Costa. Based on his last win, especially. Not a bad prop for Costa. But holy fuck, do we have some really good dogs on this card. What's going on, Tyler Betts? Dude, Dan Ige is another one of those guys that if you said that he wasn't a legit dog on the card, you'd be disrespectful. His test is a lot fucking tougher, in my opinion, than Spivak's test, right? So I really like Costa to win this fight. I think he's surging with, I don't know, the back-to-back activity could be what really does him in, but he literally took no fucking damage in that last fight and won it flawlessly with that beautiful kick. So Dan Ige, it's the tread that I worry about a little bit too. So Costa's back-to-back fighting but his usefulness, I can't even fucking talk. He's 29, right? Dan Ige's 34. But man, does that change thinking about when I was 28, 29 versus, where I am today, 36. Man, that energy was quite different. I think Costa's got all the tools. He's going to be able to be very comfortable wherever this feat is. He's going to dictate pace. He's going to dictate and control through pressure. We're going to get control time. So even if we don't get the finish, or I could see people losing some money, kind of like, hey, I lost a little bit of money when Diego Lopez couldn't finish Dan Ige, right? It went to a decision. I mean, he was close, but didn't get it. Costa could have a moment like that. But Dan Ige is pretty resilient, too. Even when he's losing his fights, he's seeing a lot of these fights through, too. So, yeah, I think Costa's my pick. I'll look at distance props on this as well. I want to see what fight to just not go to the judges looks like. Plus 164 is a great prop. That is worth some money there. Because if you looked at the double chance of Costa to get a submission or knockout, that's plus 550 to do again what Diego Lopez couldn't do. So that's why they're giving them that prop. Dan Ige to win by submission or knockout, plus 300 would be points or knockout, which is the plus 195. So it looks like you're getting way better props for Costa right now by finish, which, you know what? At 555, I'm taking that. The fight by finish on either side's good, but bro, at 550, I'm taking Costa by finish and maybe even a little two-legger. That with like another fight not to go to the judges that I expect, right? We're going to build this real quick. I think this is live. So Reese and Mike Pura, right? Fight to go to the distance. Negative 360. We can always rebuild this if it falls off a fight, but I expect to finish there. I think Jacoby Smith and the Hamster fuck each other up, but we're not giving distant props on that yet for FanDuel because they're fucking slacking. The heavyweight bout, we're not expected to go to the judges, right? Distance no here, negative 320. That's uber fucking safe there. I like that. And then, yeah, Costa by double chance. Plus 550. That three-legger puts you at plus 1,000. So that's a 10-1 little three-leg for two fights that likely do not go to the judges, and Costa win by finish. We'll play with that. I think that's a fun little early one that has a chance, especially after that last fight. He can fucking send a kick or something that really sets it up or a submission, man. He's really live for it. And he is a gamer. But that's over 15 minutes as well. Costa really could slip something crazy. Pull the upset. But, man, Dan Ige is definitely live. So respects to him there. And that's why he's another great dog on the card. All right, we just locked that bet in as well, guys. So, again, that's the fight with Reese and Michelle not to go to the judges. The fight with Spivak not to go to the judges. And then Costa by finish there. That is 10-1. Not a bad little early bet on the card. I'll take it. I just dropped 15 to win like 150. I like that. That's not bad at all. Cheap little fun little sprinkle-roo. All right, getting my graphic updated here for the next fight, and then we'll move on through the rest of this main card. All right, onto your co-main event. Honestly, was expecting something a little more on the main card after this fight, maybe, like I feel like we are just missing maybe a light heavyweight bout, a lightweight bout, something. I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of lacking weight classes on this card. You know, we get some welterweight action, which is always great. It's a fun division. Just, yeah. Anyways, we got Hands of Steel, Jeff Neal taking on Uros Medic. I'll be dead fucking honest in why I'm going with what I'm going with. I don't dream about MMA a lot. I mean, I live around and breathe it and spend a lot of time with it, but I don't dream of watching a fight as if it's happening. I had a dream that Medic was just letting it go in the first round with his fucking hands. Neal doesn't get knocked out hardly ever. You know, he's had that reputation for a long time, and until he did finally lose it, right? If I'm not mistaken, he got submitted by Shavkat last second. Shavkat almost lost his finishing streak to Jeff Neal. It was like some weird last second crank that saved Shavkat's finishing streak. And then look at he took a split decision loss against Ian Gary, which ages quite well. He gets the win over RDA, but RDA's, you know, look at it's leg injury. RDA's been done kind of thing. So, but then he takes a knockout loss to Prates. I'm not saying at all that Medic is Prates. Prates is his own secret weapon, and the knockout happened because of his ability to kick and rip and spin and be an absolute loaded fucking gun. Medic sends it with his hands. Jeff Neal's very comfortable there. So the fight to end by knockout is actually a very decent prop in this fight. I'm going to pull that up and see fight to end by knockout. Distance on this one, they got it at -800. So that here you are in this card. Let me show you how fucking stupid FanDuel is. You got all these heavyweight bouts and like these huge killer fights, right? Where two people are going to crack the shit out of each other. -200-300 props. Dude, this fight's -800. What the fuck are they smoking? But if you went to how the fight will end, fight by knockout, not even good either. -425. So now if you open up your method sheets and you go Neal by knockout, it's -130. And if you go Medic by knockout, it's now at +250. I think the values are just a little skewed on this fight. I don't like Jeff Neal's knockout at negative. He should be +100 or 150 if he's a slight favorite and expecting to win by knockout. But because Medic in my dream fucked him up first round and just his pressure melted, it almost looked like a classic Arnold Allen win against like Dan Hooker. He just literally came out, had fucking Neal across the edge of the octagon, and was just fucking swinging like he was in a bar fight. Just fucking letting his hands go and did the unthinkable, which again, Neal is resilient. Neal is tough. Neal goes 15 minutes. Not in this dream. He got fucking knocked the fuck out. So I'm taking Medic. I'm sticking by the dream, and I will be part of a group that only 27% of us think that Medic wins. But had I not had my dream, I'd be with Neal, because Medic has struggled against much lower guys. Neal's been fighting at a very fucking competitive top level of welterweight, within the top 15 rankings, top 10 rankings, right? He's been fucking holding it down. He's a fucking G. He's been here for a minute. And he's definitely more technical than Medic. Again, Medic wasn't technical in this dream. He was wild. He was just fucking letting it go. So I'm gonna just take that thought and literally that vision that I had and say that's exactly how it happens. Medic by first round knockout. Now, if I went into method and round combinations here and get the actual fucking right fight pulled up here. Round combos. Rounds 1 and 2 is +310. Rounds 2 and 3 is +650. Not a bad prop. his overall knockout prop against plus 250. So I don't like the rounds 1 and 2 prop, but I actually do like the 2 and 3. So I'll take the fuck, man. The prop, it's like I want to bet this because the prop's good, but it's not what happened in the fucking dream. You see where I'm at? It's a crossroads. I don't like being at that crossroads. The dream was a first round knockout. I have to be honest. So just give me fucking round prop. Method and round combo. Medic. First round knockout plus 500. We take it. $20 to win 120. That's a fun $20 dream. You know what I'm saying? You guys ever have a $20 dream? little sprinkle on that. That'll be a fun one. You know what I mean? That'd be a fun slip to be like, dude, I fucking dreamed this. $20. Who gives a fuck? $120 out of that, that'd be a good hit. I like those props. I'm not getting too crazy because it is like not expected. It's another upset for sure if it does happen. All right, again, not happy with this card in the sense that that's our co-main event. Again, I'll look at cancellations here. No, they don't even have a cancellation that even coincides with the main card. So this is just some poopy dick main card shit, guys. Like, they're good fights. It's just, why is there only 4? We're missing another fight on this card, at the main card. I guess if you wanted to bump somebody up, you could put put Zach Reese and Michelle on the main card. Zach doesn't really deserve it as much, but Michelle does. He's at least been at a much higher level fighting and is entertaining and this and that. He deserves to be probably on the main card for those reasons. But yeah, nonetheless, we get to the main event, and I'm gonna give flowers where they're due on both sides and give you guys my final pick. So Strickland has been against some of the greatest of all time of the middleweight division, some of which he didn't get to ride much long into the fight at all before getting absolutely fucking dropped and pummeled, and others he's pulled unexpected finishes, unexpected knockdowns, and unexpected full 5-round dominance over some spectacular fighters. In his split decisions or his, near loss situations, he was a gamer in a lot of these as well. Took some exchanges, gave them 2. His style overall very defensive. He's able to maintain it. He's able to keep it. And, it does win chess. It does win checkers. But Hernandez isn't here to play some fucking board game, dude. Like, he straight up loves to inflict violence. He straight up thrives in chaos, if that makes sense. Like, he's looking to use tools and weapons like elbows and knees, and Strickland, he's doing teep kicks and jabs. So when I think of someone who, is going to apply pressure, yeah, he's a grinder too, like Hernandez. He's working opponents to the ground. He's hooking, tripping, peppering with shots that really fucking disturbs a lot of these fighters in their situation where they're fighting for wrist control or they're in these exchanges up against the edge of the octagon. Hernandez picks and prods, finds opportunities and breaks down his opponents for these later in fight finishes. He isn't typically coming out and doing this in just like the first round. These are like later finishes in his fights. And Strickland being a gamer, I like Hernandez by a finish in rounds 3, 4, and 5. But also, Hernandez is not really as complete of a 25-minute fighter as Strickland. He hasn't been tested nearly as much, and the ones that he has, he's done far worse in like his gas tank and control against far lower level of guys like Dolitze and shit versus Strickland, who, yeah, he's competing against previous GOATs and maybe upcoming, guys that are very good, guys that will be around the middleweight division for some time to come and could legit have a reign. Imanoff being one of these, Hernandez being one of these. That's why this is such an interesting fight, is you actually get an insanely competitive high level middleweight bout where if you're going to do an interim title, I mean, I'd love to see Imanoff and Fluffy, assuming Hernandez gets this done. If not, there's some bad blood there with Imanoff and Strickland. Strickland pulled a big upset up against the sniper, right? In terms of getting the finish, I mean, Strickland by decision win was way more believable if you thought he'd pull it off as a dog. And his activity that year was incredible. Dude, Strickland came out and got it done and fucking hurt Imanoff. So, dude, if Strickland pulled that shit again against Fluffy, that'd be some incredible shit, because I actually think of Anthony as the like true middleweight boogeyman. In all respects, it was Hamzat, but not at middleweight. It was, Hamzat Shemaev. He was the boogeyman of 170. He's human at 180, but fucking very still powerful and technical at his trait, his wrestling, his vice. Hernandez, again, I'll cycle back to him. It's the elbows, it's the knees, it's the kill instinct, it's the want to hurt and impose damage, blood. Strickland, we know, will get cut up. Strickland will see blood. And there's all these stoic photos of him still keeping his sight and fucking firing back and being competitive in these late exchanges. Fluffy, this is more of a marathon for him, and he's not a marathon runner. So that this is a true test to see, can he control the chaos? Can he reserve himself? And let an opportunity present itself to really go all in, versus maybe overdoing it so much in the first 3 rounds that Strickland comes back in this fight and ends up walking away with an upset decision win because you faded. You couldn't break him down. You couldn't get the submission. You couldn't get the knockout, because Strickland's a very defensively sound guy, and he generally can thrive in these exchanges. But unless you got hands of stone, you ain't typically going out and just hitting him and dropping him and putting him out of there. Hernandez doesn't have hands of stones, but dude, again, he's got fucking back fists and knees and elbows of stone, and I like his chokes a lot in these wrestling exchanges that I'm expecting to see. I'd like Hernandez by takedown as a prop here. Maybe parlay that with Spivak by takedown, Ramiz by takedown. A couple of these fights I expect to see maybe end in some of those kind of ways. At least that would be a fun parlay. I think like a 3-leg takedown parlay. Go through all of it stylistically, find your favorite vices, But yeah, I like Hernandez winning this fight. I do respect Strickland enough to say that I understand if Hernandez doesn't get the finish at all. And this ends up being a decision win for him. But we got to go by damage, not strike volume alone. And I see Hernandez with his control time and his damage and his submission attempts. If it does go to the judges, it looks fucking good. Strickland's been at the top. He's been there before. There's always that new exciting thing that everyone's trying to push, looking for the rise. A lot of us are enjoying the streak right now of Anthony Hernandez. And I've been saying prior to Imanoff that, well, he's quite worthy too, right? It's just that the win was so spectacular that Imanoff had against Izzy himself, which Hernandez hadn't, had the ability or the honor of fighting, you should say. Because I also think that Fluffy would have fucked up Izzy too in the same kind of way. Maybe a submission, but It would have been like a DDP style submission, like Hernandez off the back taking his neck. That's just how it is with guys who can mix it like this. So, you know, Strickland's ability to thrive with DDP really has me worried that Hernandez isn't going to be able to just have his way the way he's had in a lot of these past fights. But if this means a chance to grit down and show some true fucking heart, warrior spirit, and fucking send it, I think Strickland's going to get caught. So I like Hernandez by finish in this fight. I respect if it loses for both reasons. If Hernandez fades or Strickland's just too defensively sound and ends up handling the grappling and the submission attempts okay. But they will happen. Even if I need to look to see if FanDuel has a prop on that. Just in a submission attempt. Like kind of like, did you get a takedown? Hernandez could very easily have like 2 or 3 submission attempts until he hits it. Strickland's all right. He's quite good. Obviously, he's got a lot of fight experience. Both guys are tough. Both guys are grit. And you know what? I'm not really hearing them or seeing them as much, but I also respect Strickland being yet another pretty fucking decent dog on the card. His prop, by the way, let's get into props on this fight, and we'll break down some parlays. A lot of these dogs have been plus 150s, plus 110s. Sean Strickland is a plus 230 dog. And you just gotta think to yourself, man, he did it against fucking Israel Adesanya and the whole world had him dead to rights. Sometimes he shows the fuck up. So at plus 230, I find that a little disrespectful for Strickland. I think he's a good like plus 150. But they're giving pretty decent value there. And I think it's because a lot of us have really high expectations for Hernandez to be part of this title conversation further. So again, if we look at Hernandez by submission or knockout, it's plus 175. If we look at methods alone, Hernandez by submission, plus 290. Hernandez by knockout, plus 700. Way harder to do, less likely to happen. Prop, very fucking decent. Let's see here. Hernandez by 5th round submission, plus 1,700. Hernandez by fourth round submission, plus 17 also. It's interesting. They're the same prop. And then third round is plus 16. Yeah. So therefore, I look back at the 700 submission, and I like it. I like Hernandez by submission for rounds 2, 3, and 5. Or sorry, 3, 4, and 5. But I need to see this real quick here. Yeah, round combo submission. Here we go. Hernandez by submission. 3, 4, and 5. Plus 550. Nah. I'll take the 1700s across the board and the 1600 for the round 3. So Anthony, 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round submission, 1600, 1700, 1700. Divide it 3 ways. Not bad. Worth something, I think, on that fight. For me personally. I'm going to go back through the props here for Strickland as a dog. See if I see anything that's like too just disrespectful. Strickland knockout at plus 650. It's pretty fucking crazy. Strickland by points, plus 460. That I like a lot more than the knockout. It's more believable for Strickland, the way that he would come back and win maybe a third, fourth, fifth based on his cardio and his ability to thrive for full 25 minutes at a high level. I like it enough that I'm going to bet on, like I said, the Hernandez late submissions, late knockouts, and Strickland by points. I don't mind it. Strickland by points and knockout is also always a good one to consider because you get, both obviously. Sean Strickland, where's he at on this? Plus 230, so yeah. Half as much as just the points, but you get the knockout as well. Nah, I'd rather hit the fucking 650 sprinkle on the knockout and put more on the points. That's the one I believe. If Strickland pulled the upset. We'll do, like I said, I'm going to do this now. Strickland at plus 460 points is not bad. I also think Strickland's live prop in the fight could go up to about plus 500-600 at some point early in the fight and then end up being a great fucking comeback for him. So Hernandez has to put Strickland out, but it just depends how he looks in that third, fourth round to know if it's even going to happen or not, honestly. I respect Strickland getting the fight to the third round, but if Hernandez comes out and starches or fucking chokes him out in the first 2 rounds, that would be just like a huge statement win, just like Imanoff had against Izzy. And I would say those two absolutely are both worthy of that belt. And if Hamzat's not going to defend it anytime soon due to his bullshit, that's your new interim fight in the meantime. Imanoff versus Fluffy. That's the fight I want to see a lot. So you also got Kyle Brahalio at this level as well. He's up there, but he's unfortunately lost that too. These two are definitely going to be it. Imanoff and Fluffy, I think, will fight for an interim if Hamzat can't come back and defend it against probably Imanoff. But Fluffy should be lined up for the next fight then. Round props right now. Fight to start round 5, no. Plus 140. I like that. It's not bad. Hernandez to win in rounds 4, 5, or by decision. So it'd either be a late finish or he gets a decision win. It's honestly not a bad one. Strickland to win by decision or rounds 4 and 5. Plus 350, which is pretty good too, honestly. All right, getting the full method sheet open here. We're going to look at Hernandez, 5th round, 4th round, 3rd round finish by submission and knockouts and go down the line here. So we're going to make a nice little deposit here. I'm just making sure I'm not getting any kind of match real quick. I've been getting quite a few of those recently. They've been really begging to get some of this money back from me, I think. I keep withdrawing it. I don't think they like that. Uh-huh. So far, so good. Also, looks like I just got a no sweat for NBA. So I don't have to be a sports bettor in those other things, you know, but if you're going to give me a no sweat, I've hit them quite a bit with hockey and different sports. So those are always fun. Looks like I got that to look forward to, but yes. I'm going to split $50 on knockout, fourth, fifth, sixth round, or sorry, fourth, sixth round, third, fourth, fifth round for Hernandez, and submission. $50 on each side, so $100. But I'll show you these payouts. It's going to be a fun one. This is like kind of like hitting a small parlay because the props are so fucking nuts. So here we go. We got ourselves fluffy round prop. Or sorry, go to method victory. And then you go to method and round combos. Expand all. All right, Hernandez by fifth round submission. 1,700 prop. I am going to say there, like what, $15-ish covers that about, right? Because I can't truly do it three ways. Yeah. We'll do 15. $15 wins $255. Moving down to round 4, also still 1,700 prop. Normally that would drop down to 1,600. Not bad. Also, it looks like they have a cap for this wager at $236 to win 4,000. Interesting. All right, so anyways, another $15 here will once again win 255. So far we're risking 30 to win 270 between round 4 and 5. I'm going to further expand this into round 3, where I think some of that damage and situational things happen, where Hernandez is in Hernandez fashion finally starting to wilt and break apart his opponents. And so that one's $15 to win 240. So total risk there, $45. You're going to win 240 or 255. Not a bad risk. And we're safe for rounds 3, 4, and 5 submission. Moving into his knockout props, which get absolutely fucking insane. Not as likely to happen. No. Can they happen? Yes. And this, I'm talking about late warfare, bad intentions, accumulated damage, doctor stoppage, submission transition, injury or whatever. Like, again, all these bitches are live. So wait until I read you these props. Okay. So for rounds 3 knockout, Anthony Hernandez, $15 to win 510. Pull up my bets. Rounds 4 knockout, plus 3,500 prop. Anthony Hernandez, $15 to win 540. Anthony Hernandez to win rounds 5 knockout, the final melt, final punch for the finish line. $15 to win 540. So we covered it by submission. We covered it by knockout. Submission, knockout, Hernandez, 3, 4, 5. I will take those props versus choosing just knockout and submission. Go add it up. You're going to get paid quite a bit more doing it this way. The sweat is, does it happen in the first 3? Or sorry, the first 2 rounds? I respect Strickland enough to say it probably doesn't. So that's my prediction. Give me Fluffy to win the fight. Let it be by the finish. It happens late, and my money's on it. So, all right, guys, much love as always. Appreciate you hanging out, croaking with the toad. We'll catch you next time, and we'll catch you coming up here soon. We're going to do locks of the week. Follow on IG for that. I'm also going to catch up on some cards. Got some mail I've been working through. So nice die cut of Gaethje. Here's his newest case hit as well. Stock up on your Diego Lopez. Good time to get him because he lost to the GOAT. Stock up on your Poetan always. There's this Helix case hit. Nice little case hit by Gaethje. It's not a PSA, but still a 10 and a case hit. And yes, give me another Sapphire Diego while the stock is lower because he couldn't beat the fucking GOAT. As always, we'll catch you next time. Much love. Fucking